The steady rise in lives of the Tradwives.
Why is it that us young women are so indoctrinated to slave away for a corporation that sees us as nothing but a number rather than dedicating ourselves to a beautiful marriage and family? Why has the value of marriage and family been completely erased from our culture as a successful life's mission? I started thinking about everything. What I was taught in school, the music on the radio that I listened to growing up, the main protagonists in the films aimed at young girls when I was growing up, my experience at university, everything. Suddenly, it all became concerningly crystal clear. Everything Ali said was 100% true. I could see how the ideology of the boss babe has been indoctrinated into our young women. I could see why this is the case, why there would even be an agenda against the feminine woman.
Whoever fought for women to get jobs. Why? Why did we do that? I am so tired. I want to just put my feet up. Like, I am... Oh my god.
It's Susan B. Anthony, man. Everybody, puts her up on a pedestal. She ruined it for all of us. Somebody said, we drown so CEO boss babes can swim. Somebody else said, bro, I was literally talking about this today. They are going on the list with Eve. Right. At the moment, I'd rather be a stay-at-home mom and do chores. Yeah, well, shocker. That's what we're kind of designed to do, honey.
I find it oppressive that we live in a society where so many couples are under such great financial pressure that wives are forced to work when many working moms would love the opportunity to stay home with their kids if they could. The feminist anger and jealousy come from the thought of inevitably having to compete with these women and the value they bring to a relationship or marriage if this catches on, and the fact that these modern women just don't have the sense of ethics, self-respect, or commitment to be able to compete with traditional-minded women.
I think we need to, again, reel back what this whole idea of being a girl boss, being successful, and being so independent. It is okay. And I had to tell myself this, and me and my colleagues and my friends talk about this a lot back home in New York. It is okay to not need someone for your happiness and independence, but it's okay to want that counterpart, want that partner, want that experience in life. That is okay. If I was 42 years old and I had a successful career, I know for me personally, that wouldn't feel like enough. I would feel like there was a huge part of my life that...
Yeah. This is part of what happens in the age of social media, where over half the world's population is online on all kinds of devices and platforms, all voicing their individual opinions on every single topic. Literally billions of opinions and variations of all those opinions. The comments are so crazy, it's just crazy. Traditional wives come from traditional households, where they are raised to be wives and mothers.
We're in an interesting time where women are expected to do it all, where it's you can't have a full-time career and be a mom and be this boss and I can do anything a man can do. I love that we have the opportunity to do that. I think that's so important, but I also think that you shouldn't feel bad if you don't want to do all those things, because just being a mom, that's the most important job in the world. You're raising a human. So if that's what you're doing, don't feel shamed or embarrassed or less than to someone who's starting their own business or having a career. I think everyone's fulfilled by different things. I even remember my roommates in pharmacy school when I was doing this, she was like, I love that I get to go into Walgreens and clock in and out and I'm done. I don't have to think about it. And I was like, I hate having to go in anywhere and clock in and out. And I love that I can be at home, but I'm working 7 days a week. So know yourself and know what you want to do. And then on the other hand, if you don't know if you want to be a mom and you really just want to focus on your career, that's okay too. I think there's also shaming in that direction.
Where you have both parents and a healthy relationship with their fathers. It's not a trend you can throw on like new makeup. Either you are or you aren't. The real traditional wives are too busy to make TikTok videos. Traditional wives don't need the constant attention of strange men online from all over the world to make them feel validated over social media. This is because traditional wives get that validation from their husbands and their children, and it goes both ways. Men have to learn their wives need money to run the family, food, clothing, and other household needs for everyone.
It's not that there's a lack of men that aren't willing to commit to women. Here's what I think the major thing is. There are plenty of men that are willing to be in relationships with women. However, they tend to be mostly entirely invisible to women. They're overlooked because women are hyper-focusing on the most attractive men. The most attractive men, the most desirable men get all the attention.
Yeah.
All
okay.
the attention. And these men, there's no reason for them to commit. They can get all the women, but the women want those men for commitment, but they're not going to commit.
Yes, I will agree that when I was younger, I did overlook good men because I was chasing something that seemed better, that probably was way above what I could qualify for. Those men were dating down, and it's a regret that I have. And I do wish people would stop putting materialism and attraction as like the number one thing to chase after, because there's plenty of good people around us. We just don't see them because we don't value them or what they bring to the table. So I agree.
Feminism was originally about equality of opportunity between the genders. Now it's about a hive mindset. Modern women think like one. Whatever the trend is, and whatever modern women around the world are doing, automatically becomes something that all of them have to do. Otherwise, they won't be seen as the strong, independent boss babes they think they are. The whole idea of feminism was that women were encouraged to choose whatever role they wanted. If they wanted to enter the workspace, great. If they wanted to be traditional wives, great. If they wanted to balance both, that's great too. Why don't people just get on with their own lives and be the best they can be?
More than 80% of women don't want to work for another woman.
And I suddenly got struck by the number of women that could articulate the companies they wanted to work for, the type of work, and then consistently they'd say, oh, by the way, I don't want to work for another woman. So I started to track these numbers, and we got to around 80%. I asked colleagues, and they were getting similar numbers. But if you go to the literature, there's huge studies all replicating these findings. Gallup in the US has actually tracked this for 60 years, and we're still not shifting the data too much, which is really a shame.
It checks out with in workplaces I've been in, there have been huge schisms between female employees and female bosses where it was pretty much an all-out Cold War. Like it was, and you know, not talking.
So, it's really not justifiable for modern women to be hating on tradwives and believe that they're not doing modern women any favors by being traditional. I guess this is where feminism went wrong when it comes to traditional women, because even though it started as a movement that empowered women to do whatever they wanted, which included being traditional, it is now encouraging women to not be tradwives and instead choose the corporate life. This is part of the flaw I originally saw in feminism. The whole taking away women's decisions to be a traditional type of girl thing is ridiculous. Not all women want to have careers or compete with guys. Taking care of the kids and the house was always an equal trade according to men. Nearly every traditional wife I have ever seen has been happy, up until the point that she was influenced by feminism. That is the point where traditional wives become unhappy because they think having a career is better. However, what goes unsaid, these career-working feminists are usually very unhappy and divorced, and men don't take them seriously.
Esty, what is a tradwife?
Well, a tradwife is just short for traditional wife, and it is a homemaker, and she cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the home and the children, if there are any, and the online world gave it the term tradwife for short.
What motivated you to pursue this traditional life?
Well, I was somewhat raised traditional. My mom was a traditional wife until my parents got divorced. I think I felt the need to fit the mold of the world and go get a degree, find a career. And I did go to college for almost 2 years, and then I dropped out because secretly I always wanted this lifestyle. Of course, you need a husband to have this lifestyle. So when I met my now husband, everything just came into place. And that's really the inspiration behind it. It was a dream.
On Simps takes these women seriously, and the feminists don't like dating simps either. What I don't understand from career-oriented women in the Western world is why bring those titles and bossiness at home. At home, you have a partner and children that you have to raise and nurture. Taking care of the family would make the family much more solid in the long run. Even if you look at statistics, that's what happens. Women having a career is great, but don't bring home that boss in you at home. You are a mom and a partner to your husband. You should be working together, not bossing each other. Each one has roles. I think that's why most men are trying to marry in Asia now, because not only are they traditional, even when they have extremely successful careers at home, but they leave all those titles at the door and be wives and moms to their families as a top priority. Guys, as I've said before, we need to remodel society because the dynamics in place at this point in time aren't working. We need to go with our own natures and be happy with who we are. the men being the breadwinners who respect and love their wives for keeping the children happy, and the wives for being a partner for life, and someone that the man can depend on for intimacy, traveling, adventure, food, and raising a family. Today, modern women get applauded for being members of the OnlyFans platform, stripping themselves in front of thousands of strangers online, and being attacked for wanting to be stay-at-home wives. Modern women today love seeing themselves as these strong and independent women, but can't stand tradwives and resort to calling them out as if they were being forced to be traditional. It's not like these strong, independent boss babes are happy with their lives. They're miserable. Sure, they make money and have a career, but they lack the one thing that truly creates purpose in life, having a family. The thing about modern women is that these women need you to like them for them, but they will like a guy for what he has. They could never deal with their type of love if they were to swap their reality for men's reality. They would absolutely not like it and would demand to have back their shallow existence. So, it's quite a shocker when you see feminists getting triggered about women being traditional wives. If you look around society, you will see many extremes. On one side, you will find your regular Karens, feminists, who are strong, independent boss babes who don't need any man. On the other side, you will find women who wholeheartedly believe in being traditional, which means they believe in family values, taking care of the house and the kids, and living a contented life without having to worry about receiving money from strangers online. Anyone who has a problem with traditional wives should reflect on how much or how little their mother was a part of their life growing up, and then see how that affected them in their current state. Was it a good outcome or a bad outcome to have more or less guidance and love? What did their lives and thoughts develop into? It's the same argument for dads in the home. Having good, strong, traditional, well-rounded, attentive, and loving parents is the key to the first step of leading a successful life. I hope I can be at least half the parent mine have been for me growing up. Thankfully, I took notes, but the optimism pool for society is something else. It's always amazing to watch people think other people's decisions and choices have anything to do with them. There's always this element that if you choose something different for yourself that another person doesn't choose, that other person acts like you're judging them. Tradwives, or any traditional style of marriage, is based on mutual love and respect for each other. It's helpful to know what your traditional roles are, but that doesn't mean that you can never break those roles once in a while. What we seem to have lost here is the respect portion. Respect for oneself and for others. Critics of traditional roles for women never seem to take into account how it affects men. They bear the burden of financially supporting a family and providing for them: housing, food, education, taxes, transportation, not to mention house repairs and maintenance of the property. If anyone is a slave in this arrangement, it's the man. But most couples in such a relationship seem to be happy. Women who don't want to be wives will also wonder why they aren't married yet. They are unhappy with their own life choices and are outraged when anyone else finds a dose of happiness. Women who lie to themselves and everyone else will stay alone and try to make everyone else as miserable as they are, unless they can change the trend of their lives by the realization that they might be wrong. Women can choose to be less stressed and focus on being a housewife who is involved in building the next generation, or can be creative on how to build the home, or she has to hit their targets at work and work for the rest of their life till she dies. It's what men are doing. Why take away that decision and shame them? Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.